is my epoch. It looks like we're live, and Sam and I are in a sound booth. That's why you see her here. She's up on the couch with me. I hope that there's not too much of an echo here. And for those of you just joining us, welcome. For those of you that are watching it post live stream, I'm going to take a couple minutes just to kind of give some updates, talk about what's going on, and then I'll get into today's topic. Which it's going to be an interesting topic. So I don't know. Things are going good. I got Sam's sleeping bag, and just to kind of tell you about her sleeping bag, on the 30 degree, I think it was like 32 or 30, 35, something like that. 35-degree night that we had here a couple nights ago. Man, she crawled up in that sleeping bag. She loves her sleeping bag. So we'll watch the replay. Blessed evening. Make sure I hit that like button. Okay, good. Thanks, Share Bear, by the way, for all of that. But anyways, so the sleeping bag, or the doggy sleeping bag, was actually pretty good. It was a pretty good purchase. The only thing that I would change about it, and that has a lot with her getting in and out, is because it's fleece, it's kind of sticky, so it's much harder for her to get in and out. But if she rolls around in the sleeping bag, then she does fine. Whereas if I had the same material on the inside as I had on the outside, then she could slide in and out, and she could get in and out of the sleeping bag herself. She can get out of the sleeping bag by herself right now, but she cannot get into it. So I wake up a couple times a night to put her back in the sleeping bag, but I only had to do it one time on the 35-degree night, and that was pretty good. So but anyways, that's how the sleeping bag goes. So I could say that I recommend the sleeping bag, that the sleeping bag is good even for a dog that, like Sam, she was a large size dog. So I mean, it's a decent sized sleeping bag. And now she looks at me and goes like, look, when she's ready to go to bed, she looks at me and goes, I want my sleeping bag. Okay, so if you watch the videos that I did on the sleeping bag, where I did the reviews on it, and I told you guys that I would update you on all of that stuff, this is part of that. So what we're going to be talking about today, so it looks like I got a couple people in here. Say hi in chat. If you guys have any questions, make sure you state your questions. We're going to go probably an hour like we usually do. If you guys really get me going, we'll probably go a lot longer. But I'm going to talk about a homeless entrepreneur and making $1 million in a year, because there is a guy that tried to do something like that. But I'm also going to be talking about my own homeless entrepreneurship experience. For those of you that are interested, so when I first started doing research into this topic, so I was like, I'm kind of starting a business. I'm homeless, so let me see what kind of homeless entrepreneur stuff they have out there. And quite frankly, there was this guy that says, yes, I'm a millionaire. I'm going to give up all my millions of dollars, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to be homeless, and I'm going to make $1 million on my own. Well, today, a follow-up article, like 4 years after the fact, shows up and starts talking about what had happened, like talking about whether or not he completed his, $1 million and so on and so forth. So, hey, Joe, nice to see you. Hey, Jeremy. Yeah, hey, you're good, Jeremy. You're definitely good. So, anyways, so they did a follow-up story on it. So in I think it was like July or August of 2019 or 2020, he decided to start this, and he went about 10 months, and then he quit. Okay, and so I was sitting there thinking about it from my own experience, kind of understanding what was going on. This guy's a millionaire, has his money making machine that's already on autopilot. He's got health issues that are with like his parents. He's reevaluating what his priorities are, and things like that. And he only made $64,000 in 10 months. And when I saw that, I laughed, because you've got a millionaire coming out here saying, yeah, I can make $1 million in a year. And I wonder what really made him think about it. Was it because he saw a crackhead with a $500 or $1,000 a day habit? That's kind of what a lot of people think. Oh, well, because I mean, honestly, if you have a $300 a day habit, you're going to spend $120,000 just on whatever it is that it spends $300 a day. You need a $300 a day habit is $120,000 a year. Okay. And so, a crackhead has, like, even the guy that I met in Pensacola. Okay, he said he had an $80 habit, but he had more like a $200 to $300 habit. So this guy raises just to cover, his expense for his for his dope, has to raise, $300 a day, or about $300 a day, and he's making about $120,000 a year that's going to the dope man. And he's doing it, and he's kind of a low level crackhead. I've met crackheads back in the 90s, or not 90s, early 2000s. So we're talking like 2001, 2002, probably closer to 2002, that I got to see, what a real hefty habit was for crackheads, and it was something around, $500 to $1,000 a day. At $1,000 a day, you're making 365,000 or more dollars per year. That's just for your drug habit. We're not even talking about food or a hotel room or extras and stuff like that. So a crackhead can make about $500,000. So somebody would sit there and think, yeah, well, if I'm an entrepreneur, I can get out there and I can make $1 million in a year, because a crackhead can make $500,000 in a year. And the thing is that's arrogance and not fully understanding what's going on. See, with this crackhead, the reason why he's able to make $500,000 is because he is hustling. You want to learn how to be a good salesman? Go hang around a crackhead that has a $300 to $500 a day habit, and just follow them around and watch how they make their money. You will see all the weird things that they do. They will sell their mother down the river, steal their mother back, and take her back out to market to sell her again. Okay, they have no scruples, because the thing is you're fiending for it. So I experimented with it once in my lifetime, and I wanted to see what the hype was all about. And quite frankly, it sucked. It wasn't good. Didn't like it. What I will tell you is that for about 3 or 4 days, that's all I could think about. That's all I wanted. I just wanted another hit, and I did not like that. Okay, and luckily I had like a 3 or 4 day road trip. So I mean, that's kind of how I planned it around, because I was already told what I'd have to go through just to be able to do something like that. And the thing is, when you're dealing with an addiction, especially if you're giving into the addiction, because you just don't want to feel the uncomfort of going without, what are you going to do? You're going to go out there, you're going to hustle up money, you're going to throw your morals and your values aside, and you're going to go do what needs to be done to be able to support that habit, because you want to be able to not have to deal with the withdrawals or whatever it may be that you're using it to escape from. Okay, that is the reason why a crackhead can go out there and make $500,000 in a year, and as somebody who is square and legit and trying to build a business on the streets will only make $64,000. Okay, because he still has his morals, he still has his standards, he still has his way of conducting business, he still has his soul, he still has standards which he's going to abide by, and as long as he has those standards, he will limit his ability to be able to make money. Okay, and I think that that a crackhead, in a lot of ways, is a window into what it's like being one of the wealthy elite. Is just because in order to be able to make the amount of money that these guys have had to make, or that these guys have had the opportunity to make, what compromises, what deals did they have to do to be able to get more and more and more and more and more? Because the truth is anything can be a drug. Okay, so that is my little blurb about what's going on with homeless entrepreneur, and just why this guy didn't make the money that he should have made, or that you thought he would have. So just to kind of give you a glimpse into the homeless economy and the way that people make money being homeless. The reason why I don't make a lot of money is because I'm still doing legitimate things. If I want to go out there and do some shady things, I could make a lot more money than what I'm making. But the thing is I still cling to my standards. I still cling to my personal expectations of myself. Okay, so let's go through and see some of the questions and comments, because I see that Joe, you you blew the place up. Okay, so nice to see you, Joe. That's called a driving force. Yes, okay. At $1,000 dealer needle habit. Yeah, okay. So $1,000 a day. That's you're making $500,000. Now, if you could take that same that same fiend mentality, and instead of putting it towards the needle, you put it towards putting money in your pocket. Within 2 years, you could own a house and have enough money set aside to support yourself for the next 10 years. Okay, and all you got to do is throw your morals and throw your scruples to the side. But the thing is if you're doing it for reasons other than the drug, you're probably not going to make as much because, again, like Joe said, it's your driving force, and that driving force was there to drive you for $1,000 a day habit. Try and do it sober, and try and do it on the straight and narrow, and see where it gets you and how much you actually make. Okay. Yeah, tweakers know what's up. Yeah, okay. Okay, speedball. Yeah, I had a friend that he liked to what do you call it? Ride the lightning with Coke. So, I mean, everybody has their thing, and I'm glad I never got into needles. I'm glad I never got into anything. I experimented, I tried. I wanted to see what the hype was about some of the stuff. But the thing is, before I did any of it, I researched it. I understood what my withdrawals were going to be, what it was going to do to my body, what type of reaction I was going to get, what kind of high I was going to get. I didn't just jump blindly in and go, here, let me try this, because that's the quickest way to develop an addiction, because there might be that one thing that you just can't say no to, and you should know why you can't say no to it. Just like cigarettes. Okay, what you're doing with cigarettes is you are slowly poisoning your body. Your body is addicted to that poison. And when you decide not to give your body that poison, that body is going to make you feel uncomfortable because it is addicted. And therefore, it is going to contract and react because of that. So now that I understand that, I understand my addiction. So I understand that if I decide that I want to go down that road and decide I don't want to, at least I understand what's going on, and I understand why it's going to happen, what's going to happen, and just kind of the mechanics of it, so that I understand that this is only temporary. Because when you're in the mindset of addiction, it's not really about temporary. This is your everyday life. But that's just what I have to say about that. Okay, the crackhead I knew couldn't keep the TV on the wall or PlayStation in the house for the kids. Always sell as soon as they can to get. Yeah, because to a crackhead, that PlayStation, that TV became a savings account. Okay, because they knew if they ever had a bad day, they could take it and pawn it and trade it to the dope dealer. But the thing is they kept it and used it and enjoyed the benefits of it for the temporary time being. Okay, it took trying. Okay, okay, that's good to know, Joe. Okay, so the next subject that I wanted to talk about, past talking about just making $1 million in a year, why the guy couldn't do it, and all of these different things. The next thing I want to talk about is my journey on homeless entrepreneurship. And I have a question for those of you that are watching. Is this a topic that interests you? Because I know a lot of you guys show up just because you like interacting with me. We have a good time in chat. This is Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Okay, and so I should make a shirt that says "Where Everybody Knows Your Name" with my logo on it. I wonder if anybody would be interested in that. But anyways, I'm wondering if this is a topic that interests you, or if this is just something that I'm doing on my own and really has no interest. Because here's the thing. Last week I was talking about deciding your idea. Okay, now that you've decided your idea, how is it that you're gonna make money off of it? Okay, so yeah, I want to see you make $1 million. Yeah, well, hey, Boxcar, we all want to see me make $1 million. We figured out my bad. Okay, I slammed $1 million. Wow. I've been okay. That's wow. I've been for 10 years and using okay. Avoid being sick. Yeah, it's amazing what it will do because of the reaction that you're going through. I mean, it's sad, but it's true. It's what happens. And I mean, I'm glad that I've never had to experience full-on addiction. Now, I did have to experience detox from drinking when I was 15, just off a couple of sips of beer. Past that, I haven't had to deal with addiction. I have because of that experience and going through detox. So my dad was gone to NTC, which is military training base in Fort Irwin, California. And my stepmom went up to New York. We were stationed at Fort Hood at the time. And so I had the house to myself. My dad had a tall boy in there. I took a couple of sips of it, decided I didn't like the taste of alcohol, dumped it down the drain. For the next 3 days, I went through the shakes and full on alcoholic detox. Okay, now my mom was an alcoholic. My old man, he's a binge drinker, borderline alcoholic. So I mean, I'm predisposed to it in some ways, but that was an interesting experience. Kind of helped me open my eyes and understand that when you're dealing with addiction, is that there's a lot more at play than what a lot of people like to say. But anyways, let's talk about how you monetize it. So what my subject is, so instead of going with the full on, doing the review and the hospitality thing, what I decided I would do is I would really ramp up my efforts on this, because this was intended to be a business to begin with. I want to become an influencer, a homeless advocate. I want to be able to, to offer solutions to the problem, and to be able to use my voice to be able to sway opinion towards good or bad. Okay, just kind of give people a bird's eye view of what it's really like to be homeless. Especially if you don't have to deal with mental health or drug addiction. It's a much different experience than if you deal with addiction, because when you don't deal with these things, there's no help out here for you. The only way that I can get housing is for me to stay in the downtown area, which is more dangerous for me, because 3CDC is funding, putting the homeless that are in the downtown area in a house so that they can get them off the streets for various reasons, right? And and so therefore, if I decide I want to go out a little bit further into town, and be able to experience that, and to kind of give Sam and I some reprieve and be to ourselves, well, we can't do that if we want to get housed. Okay, and so I mean, there is it's very hard to find any program that will put you there. Now, if I had a drug addiction, if I had mental health issues, if I had other issues, I would get funding, and I would be put to the front of the line. But because I don't have any of those issues, and I can still remain a productive member of society, therefore there is no help for me. They want to help the lost causes instead of helping those that are more apt to return to the system, and to be able to go back to being productive members. There are some people that are productive members, or that could go back to being productive members, but those numbers are so minuscule compared to those that are out here like me. And as the homeless crisis grows, as the great dispossession rages on, as the global economic collapse rages on, you're going to see homelessness expand, and you're going to see a lot more people like me that are out here. That's kind of what I want to do, is as far as give hope. So again, how do you monetize the homeless situation? Well, a lot of what my monetization is going to be is that I have to realize that there are four main demographics that follow this channel. Okay, first one are preppers. Okay, they want they look at a guy like me as ears on the ground, because when things happen, we're the first ones to experience it. When the migrants come in, we're the first ones to start losing access to resources. We're the first ones to start losing out at food banks and at food lines and things like that, because these people are being moved to the front. Okay, so as a homeless person, we are the front line, and we can, seeing what happens to us tells you what's coming on to the rest of you, okay, that are housed. Also, being homeless, we are a reflection of what you will be during SHTF, should you ever have to bug out or do an inch bag. Okay, so this is something that you that works in your favor, to kind of have a basic understanding, kind of helps you with planning. Okay, and then you have the second group, which are those that are homeless. Even myself being homeless, you always learn new things from homeless. You also kind of want to see what other homeless are doing around the country, and things like that. So now I have a group that is homeless. I also have like the homeless advocates, the homeless sympathizers, and those that want to be able to help or find a solution or be educated on the homeless issue, that find this channel valuable as far as getting information. Okay, Okay, and then you have the fourth group, which is the group that I like the least, because those are your hecklers. Those are your people that look at the homeless and they troll you and things like that. Like you guys have seen trolls in the comments and things like that. So you have these four groups. Okay, and so the homeless themselves may not necessarily be monetized, except for, we do make money too. It's not always through panhandling, but we're making money through other ways. So me being able to share what gear works for me and stuff like that, that offers me an opportunity to make a commission off of affiliate links and things like that. Okay, those that sympathize with the homeless, they want to support this message. Okay, and so on and so forth. So what am I doing to be able to market this message? What is it that I'm doing to be able to bring it so that it can make me the money that I need to make, so that I can become self-sufficient and turn this into something that actually has a positive effect on society? And so that's a lot where creating my digital footprint is. This is why I now have a blog. Please come over to hobotuck.com, subscribe to my blog. So every time I put out a video, I usually write an article to go with it. The article usually complements the video and gives a little bit more of an in-depth perspective on the video. So I'd strongly recommend, coming on over and becoming a subscriber there. Plus, as I get more and more subscribers, I can send out new, specialty newsletters and tell you guys more of what's going on, calls to action, things like that, so that you can go and get a hold of your congressman if there are things that are going to affect the homeless. For example, one of the things that I would like to put out a newsletter, if I had at least like 100 subscribers over there, I would send out a newsletter with the link to the video that I just put in the community tab. So the Supreme Court, so you guys heard me talk about how this month the Supreme Court would be hearing the case from Bakersfield, Oregon, about overturning the Ninth Circuit Court, Martin, or Boise v. Martin. Okay, well, they're hearing that case right now. They started hearing that case a couple of days ago. I don't know if arguments are over or not. Okay, but we will get a decision about that in June. So I had a subscriber that kind of sent me information about that because it made local news in his area. This is something to to think about. Okay, so something in a newsletter, I could bring this to your attention, say, hey, these are the actions in which you can take. This is what you need to do, because right now, being homeless is about to be worse than being a crackhead. I mean, being a crackhead, at least you've got an excuse. Okay, because the thing is that the more that homeless there are, the more it drives down property values, the more they see crime, not necessarily because there's a lot of crime going on, but because the crime rate also includes the tickets that they give for being homeless, the tickets they give for trespassing, the tickets they give for loitering, the tickets that they give you for sleeping on public property. And so what that does is now they call that increasing the crime rate, and therefore the homeless are criminals, and therefore therefore turning public opinion against the criminals, not realizing that as this whole global economy collapses upon us, because we've got what's going on in Israel, we've got what's going on in Ukraine, we've got stupid stuff that's going on the border, we have we have inflation, we have this thing, and we have that thing. We have so many things that are so many pressures that it's a natural expectation to see a massive increase in homelessness, to see the homeless crisis go from a crisis to a full-blown epidemic, to it being more than just a crisis, but to being a national emergency. And when that happens, what's going to happen to us as homeless, especially if the propaganda out there is turning public opinion against us? Because the way that homelessness is going to work is a lot like the way that it's going to work within the gay community. Within the gay community, most families, including Christian families, have at least one gay person that's in their family. Okay, so because they love that one gay person, because that's their family, and so on and so forth, and they want their family member to be able to have rights, and to be able to have recourse, and to be able to feel safe and protected, because they love their family member regardless of whether they're gay or not, even if they are Christian. Okay, but in that same way, you're going to have somebody in your family, in your friends, that will end up being dispossessed, that will end up losing things. And in the same way that you love them and that you want to protect them, you need to take that same kind and compassion and that carefulness, and really kind of help let society know that these things are not okay. Because you know the mistreatment that the homeless get on a daily basis, not only from the system, not only from the homeless industrial complex, but the policing industrial complex, the legal industrial complex, the government industrial complex. Because we are the greatest scapegoat, and we are a great way to turn your attention from something that is positive. Turn your opinion towards something that is negative, or that is not neither positive nor negative, but actually making it a negative. Okay. So anyways, guys, I'm going to go through. I'm going to answer some questions. So it looks like I've kind of lost a lot of everybody's interest here. I'm sorry about that. Hey, Patty, how are you? So I would love to see what you guys have to say. It looks like you guys have been blowing up chat. Okay. So okay. We all fit. Okay. I read that one. I've been clean to almost 10 years. Congratulations, Joe. So are you going to play that part of Sam? What do you mean play the part of Sam? Okay, I'm interested in different perspectives about everything. That's good, Jeremy. A lot of people, they want to become educated on subjects so that they can make an informed opinion, make an informed decision. And sometimes you make decisions and stuff like that. So I only go through that after about 30 drinks close. Okay, I was going. Okay. What's to stop you from saying you are on drugs? If there's anything that flushes through your system fast so you are able to explain the clean test. Because it still leaves ticks, okay? You could tell somebody that's been a tweaker because of their ticks, because of their demeanor, so on and so forth. You can tell, especially being in the scene, being homeless and stuff like that. I can tell when somebody's on it. I can tell when somebody's coming down, and I can tell when somebody's been clean for a while, because a lot of it goes towards attitude. There are certain telltale signs that I have just subconsciously come to understand. So yeah, for some people that are naive, that aren't even part of it, that don't understand, yeah, you could easily fool them, but it takes anywhere from 3 to 7 days for a lot of the stuff to get out of your system. So you got to be clean for about a week anyways to be able to piss clean. It doesn't go in and out of your system really quick. I don't think that there is anything that goes out of your system within 48 hours, especially if you've been doing it for long periods of time. I met a guy in San Francisco that had been doing methamphetamines for like 20 years, and he was still testing positive 6 weeks later, even though they knew that he was not on methamphetamines at all. Because it takes the longer you do it, the longer it takes to get out of your system. Okay, so there are telltale signs about that. I'm mostly in the first group with a touch of the third. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you are. You are a prepper that kind of sees this situation, and I think a lot of people are, and that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why I started off as hobo prepper, because there was a guy by the name of Portland Prepper that said, "Man, the homeless can teach us a lot." The more I got into talking about prepping, the more I realized the homeless really can't teach you anything other than be a reflection of what you may be. And each one of us see ourselves different ways. You may like to have a beer. What's to stop you from becoming an alcoholic, especially when you have long periods, or when you have long periods of downtime, where you really don't have anything to do. So why not have a beer, and then another beer, and then another beer, and then tomorrow becomes the same. So now you're waiting around for a week for something to happen, because out here it's a hurry up and wait. Just like in the military, the eagle shits twice. And it takes its sweet time when it does it. Okay, and just in the same sense. So I mean, you kind of want to follow people that you'll be able to relate to, as far as how you will conduct yourself. Now, again, I always say that you have to do something out here in order to be able to garner trust. Okay, that's part of the reason why I talk about weed and I'm open about weed, is because those within the homeless community, if they're going to trust me, they need to know that I'm not just some square out here talking about it, because the drug scene is such a huge part of the homeless situation, that if you don't have some understanding of it because you've experienced it, it's very hard to be able to talk about the homeless situation. Okay, and so I'm hoping that by talking about this, that not only will I be able to get ad revenue, but then I will be able to get some form of commission off of some of the gear that I recommend, because I get to test this gear out. I get to live with it day in and day out. I have my favorite pieces of gear. Okay, I always you got to have a power bank. Gotta have a power bank. Okay, and it should be 20,000 or better. Okay, 20,000 milliamps or whatever or better. Okay, you always need to have a tarp. If it wasn't for somebody having a random act of kindness and helping me out with a tarp, this tarp has been probably one of the more valuable pieces of gear that I have. Okay, not only that, I've had people help me out with gear and equipment, stuff that I need for Sam, such as saddlebags, and other things that I needed for Sam. And it's not necessarily about getting rich. It's more or less about being able to be comfortable, to be able to have your daily upkeep taken care of, so that you can go out and you can do your part to contribute to society. And that's really what I'm hoping that this becomes, is that in the same way that you have cheap RV living as the mascot, the go-to source for everything that you need to know about car living and van life and car camping, I want to be that for the urban and traveling homeless person. For somebody that doesn't have a car and is homeless, I want to be that source. And essentially, that's what I'm working on building, which is why I've got the blog, which is why I've got the website, which is why I'm going on social media multiple times a day. So you can. I invite you to join my Facebook group on urban homelessness. I invite you to join uh, my LinkedIn, no, not my LinkedIn, but my Reddit profile under urban homelessness. Um, and I'm building groups and stuff like that, because in the best way possible, I want to be able to educate individuals that may be affected by homelessness, so that they understand that it's not going to be a rough go at it, that there is hope, that there is a way to survive, that it's not going to be as bad as they think it is, because so many people think that homelessness is the end of the world. And I've heard it many times, that is probably one of the biggest myths that I would like to be able to overtake, is that. So okay, so now that I've been on that soapbox, I have 1 week until I lose everything. Oops. But my gear and weapons are safe. That's good. Okay, so oh, you're going to the Boise shelter. That's good to know. They're going after. Yes. Uh, what, I can't even pronounce your name. Yeah, they've been doing this. This has been something that's been on the docket for some time with the Supreme Court. This is a big decision. This is going to decide. So, like cities or states like Florida and Kentucky that are making homelessness illegal, what DeSantis is doing, which is doing an end around the Ninth Circuit Court decision, is saying that if there's no shelter, then the cities need to provide a designated camp, and so therefore they have control over it. And if the cities aren't going to provide it, then the state will step in and provide it through the state FEMA program. Okay, and so I mean, on one hand, it seems humane. It seems like it's a good thing on a PR side, but is it really? Because just like the homeless are mistreated and taken advantage of by the system, it just gives the system a lot easier access to take advantage of you even more and exploit you for their own benefit and control. Okay, so okay, just to keep your head up, Joe. Okay, practice these words. Died the reward outweighs the risk. Oh, does the reward outweigh the risk? Yeah. Hey, Rugsy, nice to see you. Okay, I'm okay. Okay, a few homemade cane moments. Okay, hate the sin, not the person, is the way true Christian belief. Yes, in the same way, the law should look at it the same in the sense that, okay, I don't care that somebody has crack. I care that somebody stole. The crack may have made them steal, but the crack itself shouldn't be the crime. The theft should be the crime. You know, if we're going to charge people with something, we should charge them for their actions, not for their choices. Okay. So I've been on fentanyl. Okay, I've been on fentanyl for 5 years now since COVID. Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that, Black Lavender. I've seen that destroy a lot of people. To stop sometime soon, but I kind of don't want to. Well, you know what? Here's I can't I'm not in your shoes, so I can't give you any great advice. But what I can tell you is this: find things that motivate you to be a better person, and over time your desire to want to get out of fentanyl and your desire to get out of this lifestyle will slowly come, but it's a long process. And I think the first part is learning how to love yourself. When you love yourself, you'll want to take care of yourself. Okay. So okay, let's see. Sam the bartender from Cheers. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah, okay, now I understand what you're saying. Yes, I am Sam. I am Sam the bartender. I thought you were talking about Sam because, Sam the dog. So that's what confused me at first. Okay. What I need is something to do when I'm bored. I like to walk. I need to walk at least 10 miles a day just to keep me from wanting to jump out of my skin. One thing that I find is finding tasks to do. So, because I'm in the digital economy and it takes a while to build, a following and all this other stuff, I have a lot of work to do where I'm not really making a lot of money, but I'm making some money. So therefore I keep myself busy. So I don't go down that road because I could easily have a $50 a day weed habit. It would be nothing for me, to have something like that if I didn't have anything to do. So, and I'd probably start looking to go on to other things because I get bored of weed just because, after a while you have such a high tolerance. So since I'm always by myself, I'm always getting high. Okay, if you're not at work. Okay, well, you know, um, uh, uh, okay. Always talk to my homeless buddies. That's always good. Okay, I like talking to them. Homeless. Okay, well at least you're a functioning. You're functioning. That's good to know. Okay. Thanks, Black Lavender. Try traveling to. Okay. I'm going outside in 6 days. Okay. You cannot survive homelessness without acquiring a criminal record. You know what, Rugsy? You're right, but you're wrong. There's an exception to every rule. I'm that exception, but you're right. Okay, that much I will say, because I do believe you're right. You cannot survive homelessness without acquiring a criminal record. But my criminal record does not come from being homeless. It comes from being housed. Um, I was housed, not homeless at the time. So it was on my way to becoming homeless. But yeah, it was, yeah. Anyways, so for me, I have more interactions with the cops, like owning my business and being housed, than I ever have being homeless. But that's part of the reason why I always keep moving. I never stay static for very long. And I always keep moving. I always keep myself productive. I don't get my, kind of like an after school program is for kids in school. When you're out here, you need to have your own version of an after school program, things that will keep you on the straight and narrow. That's how I've been able to avoid it. Now, can everybody do that? No, because not everybody's me. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. I just happen to make one good choice that has benefited me dramatically in life. Okay. So, okay. Some states issue felonies for sleeping in the public. Yes, especially Tennessee. And they're now starting to put you in jail for 90 days in Kentucky. So I'll get it on the homeless. Okay, okay. Oh, I thought it means Sam Ganji from Lord of the Rings. Ha! Okay. Taxpayers and blessings to all. May Oh, prayers and blessings to all. May angels watch over you. Okay, thank you. Okay, I got a homeland file before I was 18. Yeah, Joe, but you're an interesting fellow. Not very many people are that ballsy. So, class I misdemeanors are given for smelling offensive to someone in public in certain cities. What cities is that? Because now I know in Chattanooga, they would kick you out of the shelter if you had body lice, if you smelled, and if you didn't change your clothes, or and didn't take a shower. Like, it was mandatory that you took a shower. And there's actually been a few places that I've been, but I've never heard of getting ticketed because you smell. I've heard of losing access to services because of your lack of hygiene, but that just shows the failure of the system, because your hygiene is one of your 7 activities of daily living. Do you wake up in the morning? Okay, or do you sleep all day? That's your first activity of daily living. Do you change your clothes? Do you take a shower? Do you brush your teeth? Do you prepare your meals? Okay, do you have daily routines? Do you have things and hobbies to do that occupy your time? Okay, are you those are your 7 activities of daily living. If you're not hitting at least 5 out of 7 of those, you are considered basically mentally unfit, and therefore you could become a ward of the state if you hit 3 or less of those activities of daily living. So to criminalize that, it makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, so okay, it was to pay the bills. Tuck, hell, I'll give you my number. We can go live together one day. Um, you can always send me your number. I'm an antisocial person. Now, I like you. I think you're cool. I love watching your stuff. But I'm a loner. I like to, at the end of the day, I want a piece of property off by myself where I never get to see another soul ever again. I would be happy that way. Except for, unfortunately, because of genetics and the way that we were designed, I still need some social interaction. But, that's what YouTube is for, right? I don't have to interact with people. Even here in the city, you realize I don't interact with anybody. The only real interaction I get is through my live stream or through comments. Okay. I don't really have conversations with people. I have people that want to get to know me, that want to interact with me and stuff like that. And I'm not interested. It has nothing to do with them. It's not, there's some good people out here, some cool people, but, you have to be a special individual to catch my attention enough for me to want to stop being a loner. Because, especially having Sam, if I don't keep to myself, then I'm going to end up getting into a fight. And the last thing I want to do is get into a fight. Now, once the rule of law breaks down to a point where, I don't have to worry about the consequences, that's going to be a completely different outlook, a different point of view. I will have different actions. But until then, it is better that I keep to myself, because just people are too busy trying to force feed you their way of living and their lifestyle and their belief system, instead of just coexisting and realizing that everybody has their own unique lifestyle and their own unique everything on that level. So, I mean, it is something that society as a whole, until they learn this, I don't really want to be able to have much interaction with society. It really bugs me that I had a guy today. It's like, I was telling Sam to sit, and she was going nuts over a dog, and I'm telling her no, and I'm holding her down because she's spazzing out and trying to just jump and lunge and all that stuff, and I'm holding her down, and the guy's like, "You're being rough. She's a dog. She needs to be able to do that." It's like, well, no, she's a service animal. She's supposed to sit there. She's supposed to ignore that dog, in all technicality. But this guy was so hell-bent on forcing his belief system and his point of view on me that he was willing to fight me over, even though, in full technicality, I was doing the right thing, and I was training Sam, or putting Sam in the right spot, to be successful as a service dog. Because in order for her to keep and maintain her status as a service dog, she cannot jump, she cannot lunge, she cannot bite, she cannot bark at another dog. Okay, she has to be able to heel, she has to sit, she has to lay down, she has to be able to stay. Those are the basic requirements that Sam has to be able to follow through on. to be able to maintain her service animal status. Now, in order for her to be able to enter into training, she has to be able to heel, sit, stand, and follow and come when called. Okay, which she does do, can do, and which is why I am able to train her. But there are certain expectations and requirements to be able to have a service animal, especially if you want society to respect your animal as a service animal. So just because you don't think that's right does not mean that it is right or wrong. It just means that's your personal opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one and they all stink. Okay, so I mean, it is the way it is, and I think that until we as a society realize that we cannot control an individual. I cannot control Sam. I want to control Sam. I try to control Sam, but at the end of the day, it's her choice. And if she doesn't make that choice, then I have to figure out a way to make it to where that is her choice. And unfortunately, because of the status in which she has, I have to be a little bit more forceful about the things that I want her to do. If I want her to sit and she doesn't sit, I have to make her sit. Okay, she's not a pet. She's not around for my enjoyment. Whether or not she is a well-behaved animal makes no sense, or makes no difference. Okay, as a pet, but as a service animal, I have plenty of people that when we go in there, especially being over in Kentucky, I've got plenty of people coming in that if Sam starts getting a little too excited in the line, they're like, oh, that's not a service dog, you need to get her out of here. Because even though she's in training and she's protected under the guise that she is in training, and I do have a certain window to be able to train her. It's not like I can train her indefinitely and then just let her roam rampant. She has to make progress in some form or fashion. Okay, and so you have to deal with that. And so even though you may like dogs, it doesn't mean everybody likes dogs. It means that you're going to be nice and accepting of that dog and tolerant of that dog's misbehavior, but it does not mean that everybody is. And so therefore I have to be able to I have to be able to satisfy the lowest common denominator. And the lowest common denominator is those who do not like animals, those who do not like Sam, those who do not like dogs. Okay? And so therefore I have to pander to them, not those that love dogs, because those that love dogs will be tolerant of Sam's actions. Okay? But again, and I've got a video coming out tomorrow that is going into a lot of detail of what it's like, because somebody keeps asking me to do a video on having a dog or having a pet while you're homeless, and giving some more of a guide to that. So I've got a video coming out about that. I don't want to talk about it too much, but that's just part of the reason. Like, I'm very antisocial, okay, and I don't like talking with people because I'm tired of people trying to force their beliefs on me. And I want to be able to believe and think and act according to my own will. And the only way for me to do that is to take all of the drama and the loud noise out of my life as much as possible. And those of you that agree with what I'm doing, those are you that are my subscribers and sit back and watch my content. Okay, so those that don't, they either troll the channel or they don't watch the content. Okay, and so therefore this is my way of being able to have my social interaction while still maintaining my antisocial status. Okay, so I tried lab pit mix in German. Okay, that's I believe most of us are loners. No, not most of us. I would say that there are more people that are extroverts than introverts, and it's to what degree of introvert you are. The older I get, the more of an introvert I become. The younger I was social, but I still like to keep to myself, and the older I get, the less social I get. I train my lab mix in German. No, that's good. Because when you train an animal, you want to train it in ways, and you want to give it commands that are not common. That way somebody who is coming by cannot sit there and take control of your animal because you're using common words that everybody uses, like sit, Fido, sit. Okay, so for example, with Sam, instead of saying heel like what most people say, I say with me. Okay, when instead of telling her down, I say kick it down. Okay, instead of telling her no barking, I say no snitching. Okay, now I'm using hobo jargon, but I'm also training her so that if somebody else tries to tell her to shut up, she won't listen to them, because she's waiting for no snitching, not shut up, not quiet, not no bark, but no snitching. And you have to know how how I talk to my dog, okay, in order to be able to take command of her. And that is another part of protecting your stuff and protecting your animal, your pets, the things in which you have, is you've got to take away the common ways which people have access to it. Okay, so that was patches for service animal in training and others. Yes, yes, I know. I'm looking forward to that, because I'm gonna once I have that vest to put on her, which should be here tomorrow, from the note that I saw, Jeremy, and I want to say thank you very, very much. I'm going to do an unboxing video, because I do that with all the care packages, and so we're gonna throw a special thanks to Jeremy when we do that. Yeah, once I put that on her, if anybody denies me service, I'm actually going to start my own legal processes, because at that point in time, not only is she registered, but she's marked, and there's no real reason why they can deny me. And if they do deny me, then I'm going to sue them. Since I'm considering now, I told the guy in West Virginia that I would give it until I would give it until the end of this week to make a full-on decision whether I'm staying here in Cincinnati or whether I'm going, because I decided last time I wanted to stay in Cincinnati, but then I got mad and I left. There is some craziness that's going on. It's very hostile here. It is there's a lot more aggression that's happening here. I need to go out. I need to get myself a knife, or some form of protection, but it's getting more and more aggressive as the cancer spreads throughout the country. And so if I stay here, I need to be okay with the fact that I'm going to be putting myself and Sam in danger, and I've got to be doing it for the right reasons. Okay, I think you guys will enjoy and benefit from that type of stuff, but I have to ask myself, am I willing to put myself and my dog's life in danger to continue staying here? Because as we're going through with the whole business idea, because I am building an influencer platform, which means it's all going to be digital, it's all going to be online. I don't need to be here. I can be in West Virginia. I can be anywhere I want. I could be in Timbuktu. As long as I have access to the internet and a computer, I can sit back and I can do everything that it is that I need to do while I'm building this platform. Okay, so if I do stay here, it's because I find it to be lucrative. If I do stay here, it's because I find it to be beneficial to building this channel, building the viewership, and bringing you guys important information and updates of what's really going on out here on the streets. Okay, so what's up, Billy? Nice to see you. I always let Rufus off his leash when he knew. Okay, presidents of the Antisocial Club. Yes. I'll let you be the president. I'll be the vice president. So I'd look at one of the auto deploy ones, the deploy as you pull it out. Yes, actually, that's what I was looking at. Didn't I talk about that in the last behind the scenes? I think I did talk about that. And the reason why I could say this to him, guys, because I know he's a member over on Patreon. If you want to know what we're talking about, you got to come over and be a part of the behind the scenes on Patreon if you want to understand it. But yeah, I was talking about my need for a knife, or actually no, I think I was talking about that in the last live stream that I did. That it's just getting more and more dangerous. And I talked about it in this week's hobo tutorial. That's what I did. And I started talking about my plans about dealing with protection, especially here in the urban environment. So if you're into something like that, you might want to try it out for a month, see if it benefits you. Come on over and try the hobo tutorials on Patreon. So Sam wants to say hi, so I'm gonna turn the camera. Say hi, Sam. Say hi. Hi. So, but yeah, she's just sleeping. She's a ham for her sleeping bag. But yeah, She loves to have her cuddle time. So, and this is actually, killing two birds with one stone, because not only do I get to sit here and pet her and hold on to her and give her attention while I'm doing this, but yes, I also get to do this. So, you touched on it. Okay. Just get a small fixed blade. They never fail. You know what? I want something that I can hold on to, because the thing is I need to be able to have it as a quick release. So, for example, like if I have something on my wrist and like something right here to tap right here, as I'm going through mid swing, I could be hitting that, doing a fist and also having a blade come out. Therefore, kind of adding an addition to the punch in which I do. Okay. Now, that's just an idea. It's just a hypothesis or something like that. This is not a talk of actually committing acts of violence. I do not advocate for violence, all this stuff to make YouTube happy. Okay. We're just talking about self-defense and self-protection and possibilities and things that we could do and creative ways to do it. Now, whether or not there is something out there, I'm sure there is, but it may cost a pretty penny and more than I have. Well, I'm gonna have, but I do want something that is like a switchblade that all I gotta do is push a button at the very minimum, and something like that. I want to be able to be on a quick release, because and it's gonna be something that I walk around with in my hand at all time, because I will you never know what's gonna happen, because it may happen. We walked around a corner and next thing I know I got a guy threatening to shoot me and Sam. So it's just you've got some crazies out here, and you don't see it till it's on top of you. And so again, this is why I talk about not needing a firearm. Now, if but there's actually a guy on here that semi agreed with me as far as having a weapon while you're homeless. Now, he carried a firearm, but he was also skilled in knife fighting, because yes, a firearm is a ranged weapon, and in some instances that will not be the proper weapon. And even he agreed with me on that one. So, easier to conceal, but I think, okay, hold on. Just get easier to conceal, but I think full tang fixed blades are the best. Okay. Folders are easier, I meant. Yes, but the thing is it takes a lot of effort and time, and when time is of the essence, that may not be the necessary thing. But that also might be why I keep a stick, or like something like a really thick. But the thing is if it's a stick, Sam's gonna chew on it. But maybe take a nice thick branch and kind of keep that at my side, or attached to me in some form, so that maybe I could use that in tandem and have maybe something that comes out like that. Okay. So hi, hey, Life Journey and Charity Channel, nice to see you. Good morning, good evening, how are you? They're flashlights with stun guns in the end, huh? Folders are easier, I meant. Okay. There. You know what though? A stun gun, you got to charge it, and the one thing about my action camera is it keeps dying because it keeps getting turned on in my bag. Okay, if it's in my pocket, gets turned on, I zap myself. I mean, that'll be fun. Zzz, fucking flop on the ground as I'm walking down the street. Sam just keeps on walking off. I mean, that'll be fun. So you're in Cincinnati, get a mini Reds bat. Hey, that's actually a pretty good idea. Get me one of those. That way it looks like a souvenir, but I can use it as long as it's durable. I am good, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. So anyways, guys, we are getting, okay, so, all right. Oh, hey, Patty, how are you? Nice to see you again. Okay, so I said hi to you earlier. I wasn't sure if you were there. So, but I think you're laughing at the stun gun thing. So, anyways, it doesn't matter what you carry. It's garbage without the training and practice to use it. Okay. So how do I train myself? Well, I mean, I can train myself. The YouTube is a great resource. So that will be something. But the thing is I've been avoiding it. So for 25 years, I've never seen the need to be able to have a weapon while homeless. I've always managed to stay away from situations that would put me in harm's way. I don't get involved in crowds that would put me in harm's way. But it is now starting to get to a point where aggression and violence is getting random. So for the first time in my life I'm actually having to consider some form of protection. Okay, so this is going to be a steep learning curve for me, and again, I'm probably going to be sharing a lot of this on the hobo tutorials, but Bushcraft, you and I need to get to talking here in the next few days. Be expecting a call or a text from me over the next few days. Because I want to ask your opinion on a good knife that'll be like around 20 bucks, because I don't have a lot of money left after covering, I made sure to get ahead on all of my things, so I do have some bills that I'm picking up now because of the website and other things that I'm doing, so that I can build the platforms that I need to. So yeah, I'm kind of having I'm kind of, really, I have to budget really finely, and, just to be able to make sure that I can make it, because another thing that's happening because of all the issues that I'm running into in line at all these feed lines, is that I'm going to I'm gonna take my food stamps, and I'm gonna start buying me food that I can sit there and cook. I may have to go step down an alley, cook me some food, go in the bathroom, clean up my mess, as far as my pots and my pans and stuff like that, and just kind of go through that process. But that way I can choose what I eat, when I eat, and the quality of food that I eat, and not have to worry about running into issues. And in that way, Sam and I mean, when it's just her and I, we don't have any issues. So she doesn't try and eat the food out of the pan. She just tries to eat the food that's on the serving table, if that makes any sense. So, because I cook around her, and so she knows to keep her distance, even though she wants to get right on top of it. I've managed to train her to keep her distance when I'm cooking. So I think that's something. So that's extra gear that I'm having to purchase if I want to stay in the urban setting, something that I would not normally pay for. Now, what I probably will end up getting in the next couple of months is, I do want to get that reverse osmosis, the get that water purifier. I want to see how it works, and I want to work it pretty good. I want to get that. Now, that is on my my Amazon wish list. I'm going to start putting that in the description of my videos and letting you guys know that the Amazon wish list is down there. I will be putting, things that I want to review, that I want, that are too expensive for me to afford at this point, that if somebody wanted to be kind enough to get for me, it'd be great. Otherwise, once I get the money myself, I will end up purchasing them. Like, this time around, not only did I buy Sam her sleeping bag, I bought me this selfie stick that I'm using right now as my tripod, and then I'm also I'm looking at getting, or actually already have on the way, some wireless microphones that will like pin on here. They call them lav mics. That are coming, so that I can do better audio, so that I have a full-on professional setup for what it is that I'm doing, so that, because it comes with it's a two-pack. So now that I have that, the only thing I want to get on top of that to kind of have a full-on setup is to get another one of these tripods, because the tripod selfie stick, it's great, it's perfect, it's everything I wanted it to be, and it's compact enough to be able to fit in my bag and not get broken. Okay, so I want a second one, that way I can do a two-camera thing, so when I'm actually doing interviews, I can sit there and put the action cam on one and put my iPhone on the other and do the crisscross, and be able to sit there and have a full-on interview scene, and to be able to do more professional editing. Part of the reason why I haven't been making as many videos as I normally do is because if you listen to the video that comes out tomorrow, even though I went in there and did some editing to the sound, it still has that big echo. Now, I wanted to be able to, because sound quality is the most important thing on YouTube, I wanted to make sure to improve that before I really started a full-on thing. But anyways, guys, let's see here. Listening while playing con. Oh, yes. So, yeah, yeah, you and I are in a game together. You are Chad. So, let me do a plug for Conflict of Nations World War III. Okay. Now, I'm not getting paid by these guys, but it is a game that I play. So if you want to come over and check out tutorials, I have a channel called Gaming with Jason where it will give you tutorials and teach you how to play the game. I know Cherokee's come over there. I don't know if he's playing the game or not. And if you are playing the game, Cherokee, you should come over to my Discord channel so that we can get to playing scheduling a game together. Collaborating to play a game. Because that's everybody that's over on my Discord channel, that's what we do. And right now we got a super game going on where it's 2 versus 2, and we're clearing the map, and yeah, we're going to be doing some content there. But why did I start playing Conflict of Nations? It was because I read a Billy Meyer prediction about World War III and how Russia would be able to pacify Europe. And so therefore I found this game. I decided to run through the scenario, realize how good of a tactic or strategy it was, because you come in through Norway, Finland, and Sweden, and you drop in over Europe, and therefore Europe's a sitting duck because you've got the water as a barrier. Anyways, and so I got to learn, and I just kept playing the game. I've been playing the game for probably about 4 years now. Okay, and it's one of my favorite games. I play it on a religious basis. But if you want to kind of get a real-time scenario, just kind of be able to run some things through, it's a strategy game. It's an MMO, so you're playing with other players, and so it's always different in every game. But it teaches you tactics and strategy and stuff like that you can apply to your understanding of what's going on in global events. Okay, so Conflict of Nations is a good game, especially if you're a prepper. It is definitely a good game if you are interested in the World War III scenario, because there are ones where you can use nukes, and you kind of get to see how nukes are used in the game, because people love to use lots of nukes. Okay, so all right, but anyways, that is that's my plug on Conflict of Nations World War III. Come on over to my channel, watch the tutorials, get really good at the game. So Patty's one of my pupils, and he has gotten very, very good. He's actually better than me at the game. Most people are better than me at the game. I've just been playing it long enough to where being long in the tooth gives me certain knowledge that most people don't have, that are still new to playing the game, and haven't been able to experience all the different weird ways you can lose or win. And so again, Patty's definitely a better thing. So Rugsy, it looks like I just got an image from you. I'll check it out after the live stream. Mark Knife, okay. Edge Tool 78 or Glock 80 sounds weird. The best use. Okay. It was crazy. I joined a random game, and I was looking through everyone and seeing you, and I was like, hey, yeah, I saw you too, because I was looking through, and I was like, no way, that's not, nah. And then when you messaged me, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's Patty. So, and I'm glad that I came over to you. Now I'm taking out Norway right now, and Ukraine has applied, so you should probably accept Ukraine. Just a suggestion, not a requirement, because Italy hasn't applied. I think Italy just quit the game for whatever reason. And Italy was actually much stronger. He was the strongest player next to me. So no, not even close to you. You use the doctrine to its full potential. Not really. You guys think I'm better than what I am, but I'm not. What I teach and how I actually play are two totally different things. I teach the game the way it's supposed to be played, but the way I play, I mean, come on. How many people say, because I make a lot of the mistakes I tell you guys not to make, but there's a reason why I tell you guys not to make the mistakes, because I've made them and I keep making them. And sometimes my biggest problem is I get impatient and I want to start attacking day one. And people have gotten so good because of channels like mine that are doing tutorials that you don't want to attack till like day 9 now. If you want to be able to have some sort of standing chance. And the thing is there's so much more team play now that just because you attack somebody doesn't mean that you get to have a one-on-one battle. I find more two-on-ones happen more often than not, and that is actually how I've become like number one on the server I'm at, is because I came in, bailed a couple people out. Next thing you know, I'm like I own all of Europe because it became a two-on-one. Well, they were getting attacked. I went in there and attacked the other guy. It was fun. So okay, that doctrine right now is the best for mechanized. As far as European goes, European doctrine is about mech, anti-tank, but their leopards are good too. The leopards are good, but you kind of want to do like three. You want to do 3 battle tanks, 3 leopards, and 2 anti-tank with 5 mech, and you're basically unstoppable. But the thing is that doesn't really count against air, because the Western doctrine has air, and air basically trumps most things, because if you have enough air power, you can destroy an enemy before he even gets to your front door. And so, like you have to do shock and awe with the American or the Western doctrine, and that's my primary way to play, is shock and awe. I do better in the Western doctrine, but I love the Eastern doctrine, or the European doctrine, because the European doctrine is really, really good as far as durability of troops, whereas the Eastern doctrine is all about self-defense, and you use defense weapons as offensive weapons. So, but again, guys, this is kind of why you want to go over and check out Conflict of Nations World War III, is because you get to understand like the strengths and weaknesses of not only the different doctrines, but the different things, because you've got Germany that uses the European doctrine, you've got the United States that uses the American or the Western doctrine, and then you've got Russia that uses the Eastern doctrine. Russia is pretty much the author of the Eastern doctrine, America is the author of the Western doctrine, and Germany is the author of the European doctrine as far as how Europe goes in the real world. Okay, so this is just, but anyways, I digress. We should be talking about this over on my other channel, producing strikers right now. Yes, make sure you go with naval strikers, because they give you higher hit points, and if you ever decide to build a carrier, you can put them on and go real fast. So it's already, it's pre-planning for your logistics. Okay, and so yeah, it's you guys will learn a lot if you guys come over and play that game. But anyways, I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, bless you and everyone. Okay, anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, because Sam and I want to get to bed. I want to go see if I can find me something more to eat for cheap, and then we're gonna go lay down for the night and chill out. So anyways, I'm really glad that you guys showed up, that you guys participated, interacted. Keep joining. If you want to help the channel out, make sure you share this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, like it. Come on over if you really want to get involved in the channel. Come on over to Patreon and sign up for one of my memberships, or come over to my website and sign up for a newsletter that is free. It does not cost you anything, and it's just more knowledge for those of you that want to know more about how to be homeless, or what it's like being homeless. So yes, Jeremy, I will stay warm. It is actually warming up. It'll be 80 in a couple days. So, but anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you Saturday in Saturday's live stream. Now, just one thing about Saturday's live stream, and I may do a short video about it, just so that you guys are informed. So keep an eye on the shorts. But I want to see if I can get a video or a live stream going over on Patreon again. If not, it will come back over here, and it will become, and I'll just do it there. But I will see you guys around 3 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday. Thanks for watching. See you next week, or see you later this week.